expedite dollars out for the most vulnerable in our community. I think this planning process should be started earlier than that next year. But I guess I don't have a motion in front of me and I'm looking at corporate counsel so I don't get into any trouble. But I would make a motion to have the chair sign $100,000 agreement through navigation for the extra winterization, emergency winter shelter.
Motion is made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Commissioner Wheeler. Is there further discussion? Commissioner Kistler.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I don't want to see us sell short the gospel mission. You may not like some of the things that you would be required to participate in if you go in there, but they got 60 beds, I understand, and you can put people in there tonight. And continuum of care seems like it's, they keep talking about the monthly meetings. Geez, in 2 or 3 more months, that's the end of winter. We're not going to have a problem then. Then it'll be a case of, where do we get cooling centers established? So I don't want to see us dismiss the gospel mission, even if there's some things about the gospel mission option that you don't particularly like. They got beds right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kistler, and that is a fair point. They are available immediately. I guess to that point, I don't know if Gwendolyn, if you have a sense on what timeline would look like to gear up, and if there are any other concerns with the number of people that you can bring into the building, or is that all already good to go?
Just to be clear on the question, are you saying how many people that we would have the capacity for overnight? Are you saying how fast that we could be up and running? Okay, so overnight is basically it's 12 and 12. So it could be 3 families in one home, and it could be 4 families in another home, whatever that composition is. The other question is, it's as fast as we can get our hands on bunk beds. That would be the biggest thing, because we don't typically have bunk beds in our rooms. We typically have singles. So that would be the thing that would be the thing that would take the longest time, which bunk beds really are not that hard to come by. So.
Yeah, and one last follow-up question as well. The 2 buildings that you're going to use are currently empty. There are not other folks within them right now, is that correct?
That is correct.
Right, I don't have any further questions. Thank you. One other thing I want to share also for the public, just on the matter, and then we'll move forward to the vote. I think we did endeavor before the beginning of winter with the initial $700,000 that we've allocated out for emergency winter shelter to try to be proactive. But look at that hole that we have, 293 individuals, and those are the folks that we know about. And that, maybe becomes a little immediately less life-threatening once it gets warm outside, or warmer, but it's still a critical need. So more than likely, whatever we continue to throw at this hole in the community will not be sufficient. And so, we need a longer term systemic solutions, which I know we're working to advance through the keys through Kalamazoo. But I think having our eyes wide and clear about the depth and breadth of this problem and what we have to do to both stabilize housing and raise economic security for all of us in this community is paramount, especially as we move forward. All right, with that, any further comments? All right, clerk, we have a motion from Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Commissioner Wheeler, to award $100,000 to Hope Through Navigation for emergency winter sheltering. Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Chair Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler?
Yes.
Commissioner DeLue?
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler,
No.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales, Commissioner Ray,
Yes.
Chair Strauss.
I have to abstain. I have family receiving services from Home Through Navigation.
You have 6 yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. All right. Thank you to the board for your deliberations and discussions. We got a lot left to problem solve there. Okay. Let's see, that brings us to the end of our non-consent. We'll move to item 15. It's our second opportunity for public comment. Again, it can be made in person or by phone at the number we previously shared. Online, you can press *3 to join the queue. This is the final opportunity to address the board, up to 3 minutes. Please address us in a professional, respectful manner on any topic. Once you're recognized, share your name and where you're from. Welcome.
Thank you. Richard Fuller, Kalamazoo County. I stand here in front of you tonight to talk about, real quick, an American tragedy. 5 years ago today, men and women of law enforcement, our nation's capital, and our Constitution, as well as our democracy, was attacked. For whatever reason, and whatever anybody wants to believe on what side of the spectrum, of the political spectrum you're on, one side or the other, as to what happened that day, one of the things that happened that has lost traction, where nobody's really paying attention or taking care of the situation, is the men and women of law enforcement that stood there that day. And they stood there, they defended not only the Capitol, but people's lives. They were there trying to make sure that whatever went on in that activity, that space, was done in a way that people did not get harmed. That is not what happened, though, of course. We know several people were sent to the hospital. 174 police officers were sent to the hospital. We know that there were citizens, people that were involved in the insurrection, people that were bystanders that received some sort of injury or another. And ultimately, these people are often forgotten about when there's a lot of attention put on the people that were charged and ultimately released later on. So I say these things to make sure that we understand that we really have to pay attention to our democracy. We really have to make sure that we're paying attention to the Constitution, as well as making sure that when something happens that is such a tragedy, that we recognize those people, those heroes that stood up that day are in that law enforcement community I'll talk about. And so in 2023, to help address this situation, Congress had come up with a possible resolution. They were going to make an announcement and have a plaque, a simple plaque that recognized the men and women of law enforcement for their work that day. And that plaque can't even get a vote. They can't even move it. That plaque sits in a closet right now. And if anybody sits there and thinks about right or wrong, whatever happened that day, you've got to understand that the law enforcement officials were there. They were trying to do their best to uphold democracy, defend the Capitol, and protect lives. We know several of them have committed suicide since that time. One lost his life immediately within 24 hours from a stroke, directly attributed to the injuries that he had received the day before. We know that there were citizens in that group that lost their lives or that died within days. And it's a tragedy all around. That's why I say it's an American tragedy. So I just say this to everybody here, and I have to point out, I recognize when you guys as a elected body recognize law enforcement and you lift us up. You even made sure that this year is a year that has a priority to public safety, to making sure people are taken care of in the law enforcement community. And I thank you for that. But I say this here tonight to help people understand that that's not happening everywhere. And it should happen at the Capitol. Our Congress should be stepping up, going back to work. Our Congress should make sure that if nothing else, when it comes to this matter, they can make that announcement and say, yes, we're going to put this plaque up. We're going to address these damages. And again, knowing that there's a lot of things on Congress's plate that they need to get moving on and get some things done for. not to mention the millions of people that are losing their health care starting this week. So again, I ask everybody in the United States to pay attention to these things and to step up, speak to your congresspersons, make sure they understand it's important to you that they do their job. Thank you.
Do you have anyone else wishing to make public comment?
I am up, so.
Welcome.
Hi, just want to extend my appreciation and gratitude for the support. I do definitely appreciate it. I appreciate your trust and hope through navigation, and that we are able to do the job that's set forth before us. Also, we have no problems with providing report however often that you would like. It's no problem. It's just a matter of pushing buttons and quantifying the numbers. So thank you so very much, and I'm sure that the families will thank you as well. Take care.
Thank you. Anyone else? Welcome.
I just wanted to,
Mike
Chris-
button.
this one here. Thank you.
Thank you. Or anyone else? Administrator, do we have anyone online?
Not this evening, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. That'll bring us now to reports of the officers, bodies, and administrator and controller. So I will open my comments again. As I said earlier, thank you so much to my colleagues for your support as I continue forward in service this year as board chair. We accomplished a lot of good things in my time here in county government. This last year has continued to be one we're advancing important work, and I commit to the same diligence forward this year. We have tremendous challenges facing us as a community, as a state, and as a nation, and those will continue to develop as we watch the days go by. It will be really important for us to remain focused and creative and to stay committed to our values as a community, that everyone here deserves safety and dignity, and that this is an institution in which people can trust, that we work forward to be both collaborative and transparent for the community, because there are great forces around us working to erode people's belief in the possible of when we work together. And, we heard from Sheriff Fuller this evening, what can fester when we allow that sort of anger and distrust and division to continue to fester? It is for each of us to work to resolve those things and to commit to the world that we want, to the community that we deserve, and to the future that we're going to create together, no matter what barriers they try to put into our way. We'll have much more work to do on housing, and we'll work to address that. I'm excited for the opportunities to create solutions, and this will be done in collaboration with all of you, our excellent administrative team, our housing department, our community partners, and our constituents. And then lastly, briefly, international news is also of grave concern. We are a small local body of government, but the Constitution is something that we individually swear an oath to within our service, that our state and federal elected officials swear an oath to. And I hope that each of us take the time to understand our history, our context, and what it is we're fighting for a country that we deserve and that we believe in. With that, I'll go to our vice chair.
Thank you very much, Chair. First, I'd like to thank this board for instilling their trust in me for another year of leadership. And I think it's appropriate to have a little bit of reflection to where we were 3 years ago and where we are now. 3 years ago, we were a municipality that didn't always find its way. We had gone through 3 different administrators in under a year. We found Dr. Catlin. Well, he wasn't Dr. Catlin then, he was just Kevin Catlin. But we found Dr. Catlin, and we as a board started working together to achieve really, really great things. We went from maybe a county somewhere in the middle of the 83 counties to now I strongly believe we are one of the best run county governments in the state of Michigan. We've done tremendous things over the last year with our housing department, improving housing stock, our support for veterans with a veterans village, RX Kids. We started a granting process to local nonprofits and municipalities. We purchased largest investment in private investment in Kalamazoo County by facilitating the purchase of a property for a downtown arena without using taxpayer dollars to fund it, at least county taxpayer dollars to fund it. We've a youth sports complex, the landing place, which will house 80 families, as the chair has said, the tri-share and care share for our employees. 3 years ago, I said we wanted to be a place that when our employees walked out to lunch at Bronson Park, they'd be proud to say, hey, I work at Kalamazoo County. And what have we done in the last years? We've gotten 7%, 4%, 3% cost of living increases that really reflect and value our employees. We've got a lot more to go. We've got long-term financial planning, 5-10-year financial planning that I look forward to working with this board to solve, that we can put the money back into the community, not into unrestricted, unallocated reserves, but back into the community so that we can do the most good. I'm committed to that. I'm committed to working with this board, and we've got some exciting times ahead, and 2026 is going to be a great year for Kalamazoo County. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Let's go to Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. I want to put ditto marks on what's been said so far. The Vice Chair brought up a number of things, and I agree that we've done a great deal, and we got a lot to be proud of. We got a lot to do. I struggled with the last one because we had a good presentation for families, and for Mr. Gissel brought up they got 60 beds or more beds they can put in right now, which I struggled with that thought. But I love the fact that we're talking about families in this one and beds, just beds in the other. But I think we need to look for maybe solutions that cover both. So I want to work towards that, because we do have a large issue here that needs to be addressed. And I know we're working towards it. Our housing department's been working day and night, and I applaud all the work that they've done to create more housing and things to help that. And we need to keep in mind that we can't overtax our citizens that are there. We're going to put them on the street. We can't overregulate them, but we do need to have both things. We need to have the taxes, we need to have the regulation, but we need to be, I guess we need to balance it. We need to have some good balance in there, maybe so we can get these folks places to stay where they can be safe and kept warm and get educated and lead a good life here in Kalamazoo County. So it was a big struggle on that one, because we had 2 good options that would have covered a number of things. And I want to applaud the extra eyes on these issues and thank our administration and for all their hard work on getting these things done. Some good news is I just read something the other day that for the first time and since they've been keeping records, we only lost 97 police officers last year. The first time we've been under 100 since they started keeping records. So that's something to be very proud of. And considering that, I also saw that crime rates have dropped considerably. Murders, rapes, robberies, break-ins across the country have dropped substantially this last year. And I think that's something that we should be looking at and hoping that that trend will continue down that road. Now, the governor, and I agree, and I've been saying it for years, we're concerned about traffic safety. Traffic safety is a huge, huge problem. She has pointed it out. Our law enforcement folks have pointed it out. We need to work diligently to try to get people to understand that they need to drive safely. We're killing a lot of people. We're injuring a lot of people every week. And we need to understand that traffic safety comes under three things: engineering, education, and enforcement. Those three legs of the stool make up traffic safety. And we need to work towards making sure that people understand that driving is a privilege. It's not a right. You need to drive careful, especially in the wintertime. Roads are slippery. We had a boatload of accidents this morning. Several people injured, knock on wood. So far, nobody died, but it's impactful on folks. My wife was recently in a car accident. An Amazon truck hit her head on, caused her to have some surgeries, but she's doing okay. But the bottom line is we need to ask folks to be paying attention. Don't be distracted. Don't be drinking and driving. Drive the speed limit, maybe a little under it. Stop for stop signs. Those are critical things that get people hurt. And our law enforcement folks are out there trying to enforce the rules, but they're overworked now because there's too few of us. So we need to be paying attention. We need to be supporting our law enforcement, our firefighters on the line, medical folks that are out there day in and day out, military folks that are protecting us abroad. So thank them when you see them, and God bless. Have a great week.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Council.
I would just like to go back to, if we may, the, in regards to the grant funding to Hope Through Navigation. If the body would consider a motion, because I wasn't sure that it was stated in the Vice Chair's motion, that the funding be provided upfront and that the chair is authorized, once approved, to form by Corporation Council.
Thank you, Council. Shall we make a subsidiary motion?
Yeah,
or-
somebody can just say so moved.
Thank you.
Okay, so we give the money, but we're still gonna request receipts, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
yes.
That's support.
Thank you, Madam.
Motion by Vice Chair Pro Tem.
What he said.
Motion by Vice Chair Pro Tem, support by Vice Chair Taylor. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you,
Madam
Council,
Chair.
for clarification. All right, now we'll go to a report of the administrator. So welcome, Dr. Evan.
Well, thank you, Chair, Vice Chair Pro Tem, Commissioners. Congratulations on your reappointments to board leadership. Look forward to obviously continuing the partnership. We have a great working relationship, and so the board can feel certainly assured that business is getting done in a transparent manner and inclusive manner as well. I'd say several, it's multiple updates. I always, anyway. So a lot of things. And I've already thanked Vice Chair for attending yesterday, but Emergency Management hosted a tabletop exercise centered around severe weather response. And so we had a plethora of regional partners that joined that tabletop exercise. And we received very positive feedback from our community partners that attended that. Actually, so much so that some were jealous they weren't invited, and that was not intentional that we didn't invite some folks. So we've updated the listserv to ensure that more folks are included, and we're going to get the entire county board on that listserv too. So that way folks know when we're hosting those tabletop exercises centered around all hazards, whether it's severe weather, whether it's a train wreck, that sort of thing. So really excited about that. We're continuing to draw folks from different portions of the county and regionally as well. In relation to that, we have hosted and are hosting actually a 3-day emergency operations center training focused on emergency management and activation of that the Emergency Operations Center. So in collaboration with Michigan State Police's Emergency Management Homeland Security Division. And so that training, as I was in it today all day, has drawn folks all the way as far as Macomb County. So it's about a group of roughly 15 to 20 of us in that training now. So we're being recognized really as a growing role and leader in emergency preparedness. So that's being recognized by the Michigan State Police. So we're excited about that. I wanted to give some recognition and kudos to a good friend of mine, Jim Mallory. I don't know if anyone heard that he has announced his intent to not renew his contract with the Village of Vicksburg after 2026. Very big shoes to fill. That body has been very good to Jim, and Jim has been very good to that body and that community as well. You know, he lives in Vicksburg, and so he cherishes that community. So his last day of service will be on or around December 31st this year. And so he served the Village of Vicksburg for 11 years and had previously dedicated 25 years of service to the city of Kalamazoo through the KDPS, culminating in his career as a captain with the KDPS. So just an awesome guy. He's been an outstanding partner to the county. His council expressed their appreciation of his service and thanked, and in turn, he thanked the council for their outstanding support and collaboration. Like I said, significant shoes to fill for the village. He does a lot of work, and I think folks know that, and so certainly county administration, I'm sure the county, based on some of the reactions that I've received here tonight, extends gratitude for his decades of service to Kalamazoo County. I wanted to give some kudos and just highlight some cost savings and operational excellence in our household hazardous waste program. So they continue to demonstrate strong fiscal stewardship and operational diligence through its electronic recycling procurement efforts. So in 2024, there was an RFP that was issued for electronic waste transportation and recycling, and that transitioned from a 1-year contract model to a 3-year contract with 2 optional 1-year extensions. And after receiving one very high costly proposal, staff reissued that RFP, resulting in a competitive response from a vendor called Dynamic Life Cycle Innovations. They're Wisconsin-based but Michigan licensed, and they had strong references from other HHW programs around the state. And the RFP was ultimately awarded to Dynamic, a decision that proved, especially timely as the former vendor subsequently merged with another recycling company anyway. While the greater distance introduced some complexities and logistical challenges, particularly related to truck traffic and scheduling and manual loading, under an outdated facility, the customer service pricing and overall value far exceeded our expectations. So just to give you some insight, in 2024 recycling cost comparison, pounds shipped was 198,000 pounds. Cost with Dynamic Life Cycle Innovations was a measly $2,000, and the estimated cost with the former vendor was $35,000. So that really culminates into a $33,000 savings, and that's just some of the work that our HHW, that's housed under HCS, but all these departments that we have around the county continue to try to find cost savings for the taxpayers. And these are cost savings that would have honestly been passed on to the townships and the other partners that we work with that recycle through HHW. So really give them kudos, and we value their dedication to saving taxpayer money. I wanted to also highlight some additional emergency management equipment investments. So 2 things. One, emergency management has finally finalized pricing and will be placing an order for 125 road closure signs that will be distributed to all of the township fire departments. And that was a lot of work. I know it took a long time. Vice Chair asked about this, I think probably back in August. And it's like herding cats sometimes, working with our partners, but we got all the fire departments together. We finally, finalized the road signs that we needed. So it'll be it's really close to $50,000 for 125 signs. And so delivery is expected within the next 2 to 3 weeks or so. We also have the emergency radios that we place within the operational budget to purchase for townships and cities, and our municipal partners to distribute to residents in the county have been a huge, huge hit. And so we distributed all 502 radios to the townships, and townships are actually placing on their Facebook pages that, hey, we're out of radios. We're asking emergency management for more. So there will likely be a request made to the Board of Commissioners to kind of ramp that up a little bit to ensure that we can get and distribute more weather radios out to the public. And that's really just a redundant measure, right? So there are emergency weather sirens, which is an outdoor measure. We have the wireless emergency alerts that go through cell phones, iPause alerts that can also interrupt cable television, that sort of thing. But then also weather radios is another tool to just ensure that folks are receiving alerts when they are needed in a timely manner. So I wanted to highlight that as a public safety budget priority was identified for public safety. And then lastly, I want to highlight the administration building RFP evaluation. So we received 10 proposals for the administration building RFP for design and architect engineering. And so we hope to convene as internal staff mid-January to wean that down to probably somewhere between 3 to 4 finalists. We'll have to interview those finalists. Then hopefully sometime, this is very tentative depending on scheduling, hopefully bring a proposal back to the board, recommend a proposal back to the board sometime mid-February to award a contract to a successful respondent for the design, architect, engineering portion of that building project. And so we're looking forward to that. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Administrator. Right, we'll now go to member time. Commissioner DeLu.
First instead of last. I just want to thank the board leadership for being willing to step up again this year. I appreciate your willingness to lead us into another year of 2026. I appreciate Vice Chair's recap of the last year. It was nice. And I just want to say I want to thank the sheriff for his words tonight. Those of us in law enforcement, we realize people have certainly tried to change the narrative of what really happened on that day. And I just appreciate you bringing it forward and reminding the public of actually the suffering law enforcement went through on that day, and that they're not forgotten. Thank you.
Commissioner Gissler.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I would like to get a text of your comments, John, but I know your notes aren't capable of being duplicated. You did a nice job of summarizing some of the really good things that happened this year. And I feel very good about the leadership continuing for another year. Kevin's here, you three are here. We're headed for good things this year. I will tell you though, in my own personal way, that Road Commission is going to talk to my group on Monday at 8:30. That's the 12th, I think. I should look that up. It's next Monday at Mark's Diner on Romance and Portage. Meeting starts at 8:30, and Road Commission's got a blank slate. Whatever they want to talk about, it's going to be information enough for us. So if anybody wants to make it, 8:30, Mark's Diner in Portage. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Mazer. Okay. And Commissioner Wheeler.
Thank you, Chair. Again, thank you, the three of you, for stepping up and being our board leadership and steering us in the right direction. I think we have a really good combo going on. I don't have very many updates other than that. I'm very excited to start serving on the ISK board and undertake that. And hopefully next time we meet, I'll have an update from the TCCAD for the youth sports facility and where we're at in that process. Thanks.
All right. Thank you for your work tonight, commissioners. With no more business before us, we are adjourned. Right, it is 4 o'clock. I'm going to call to order the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners Committee of the Whole meeting. Our first item, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner DeLu.
Here.
Commissioner Gisler.
Here.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler.
Here.
Commissioner Mazer.
Here.
Commissioner Morales. Commissioner Ray. Chair Streps.
Here.
Vice Chair Taylor.
Here.
Commissioner Wheeler. Here. 8 present.
Thank you. And Commissioner Morales has communicated she is en route to the meeting. Administrator, so we still not have streaming function? We do, okay. Thank you so much. Okay. We're just having some ongoing tech issues that staff are diligently at work at. So item 2 is public comment. Opportunity for public comment can be made in person or by phone. If you're attending virtually, you call 855-925-2801 and enter meeting code 10748. That part is not working. Thank you. That's okay. I should have been clearer. All right, so our call-in is not available this evening, and our apologies for that tech delay. Certainly, public comment is still available to participants in chambers. So if you'd like to make public comment, you approach the podium. Once you're recognized, please share your name and where you're from. You have up to 3 minutes to address the board on any topic. Is there anybody wishing to make public comment? Please come join us.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes, thank you. Welcome.
Excellent. Thank you for having me. I'm Chandra Kinney. I'm the district manager at the Kalamazoo Conservation District. This evening, I am just simply here to invite everybody to our upcoming annual meeting and election of the board, Cultivating Connections. That is going to be on March 5th from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the AZO Venue, Lounge, and Grill, where we will be sharing a lot about what our plans for the upcoming year is, what our impacts have been over the past year, and then providing you everyone with a social evening with games, a silent auction, awards, and more. You are all welcome to RSVP at our website, kalamazooconservation.org.
Great. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you.
The former Beacon Club. Thank you, Commissioner Gisler.
I apologize. I should add this event is open to the public, but voting is only open to Kalamazoo County residents.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else wishing to make public comment? All right. I'm seeing none. So we'll end public comment. We'll move to item 3. Let's go to our review of accounts payable and our payroll disbursements, and we'll welcome Finance Director Post. Welcome.
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair Pro Tem, Board of Commissioners. This evening, we have an accounts payable claims list totaling $8,435,072.09 presented for your review. Of this total, the Board of Commissioners is asked to approve claims totaling $7,260,362.03. Payroll disbursements totaling $4,296,002.61 are presented for the January 31st elected and general payrolls. That being said, we welcome any questions from the board.
Thank you. Are there any questions, Commissioners? Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. I just have one. Sorry I wasn't able to get to you a little sooner. It's on page 21 at Kalamazoo County Expo for $223,360 and some odd cents. There was a line where it looks like the parentheses were, you might have done it and then decided not to and then decided to. So just curious.
Yeah, absolutely. I would allow the treasurer's office to comment a little bit more on this, but specifically what this situation is, Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, is this relates to the Discover Kalamazoo 71% share that we pay out. The treasurer's office reclassified some administrative fees from one account to the other. So that's where you see the negative and then the positive, and then you see another payment that represents the actual payment itself. But again, I would defer to the treasurer's office on this as they manage that fund and transaction. Just asking for a friend. Very well. Thank you. Thank you.
It's always asking for a friend. Any other, he does have a lot. Are there other questions? All right, I'm seeing none further. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
All right, we'll go to item number 4. We have a presentation on the Kalamazoo County Public Art Commission, their annual report for 2025. We'll welcome Jared Vanderweel, Kalamazoo County Public Arts Commission.
There you go. Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you, Chair.
I know we're having some tech difficulties this evening
No
as
worries.
well.
Is this working?
Yes, it is. Welcome
Great.
to you.
Well, thank you, Chair, Vice Chair Pro Tem, Commissioners. My name is Jared Vanderweel, coming this evening as part of the Kalamazoo County Public Art Commission. This is a thing that the commission used to do regularly. Prior to 2020, we had some turnover and kind of lost this habit. So we're trying to meet with all of our government partners this annually, kind of from here on out, and give an annual report of what we've been up to. I'll try to abbreviate our annual report, but please interrupt with questions and make sure this is relevant for all of us. So since 1981, the Kalamazoo County Public Art Commission, KCPAC, has supported public art-related objectives of the city of Kalamazoo and Kalamazoo County. In 1986, the city of Portage joined that cooperative agreement. KCPAC has for years benefited from the contributions and connections of dozens of citizens of Kalamazoo County, representing numerous arts and cultural focused organizations, as well as employees and elected officials from each of the 3 governments we serve. In 2025, KCPAC was proud to host as member individuals from the Arts Council of Greater Kalamazoo, Discover Kalamazoo, Kalamazoo Institute of Arts, the American Institute of Architects, and the Kalamazoo Public Library, and others that represent the board of our commission. KCPAC's knowledge base is broad, its members' personal interests and talents varied, and their goals aligned toward enhancing the vibrancy of Kalamazoo's built environment for the betterment of all. Each month, our members volunteer their time for projects and regular meetings. In 25, our meetings occurred monthly on the 4th Wednesdays from 5:30 to 6:30 in the Arts Council of Greater Kalamazoo's facilities, which will continue to do this upcoming year. My position on this commission is I represent the American Institute of Architects, one of our seats. I'm the secretary treasurer, and a similar report's being given to City of Portage and City of Kalamazoo. Toward the end of the calendar year of 24, so our year kind of started out kicking off with the Portage Cultural Arts Committee in order to connect and explore ways in which we might support their efforts further. To that end, we were joined in February last year by Dennis Martin, who gave a report of what their commission is up to. They're forming a committee similar to KCPAC for projects specific to Portage. So we are actively networking and supporting their opportunities. KCPAC also began the year meeting with representatives from the Edison Neighborhood Association, which kicked off a planning and logistics effort for the Washington Square pedestrian scramble, which was completed this past summer. And we're continuing to support them on a sculpture that will be in place of the creamery. This year has been one of particular significance to KCPAC and the broader Kalamazoo Arts Committee as the Brush the Block Mural Festival kicked off from September 2 through 7, and that's intended to be an annual festival. It was hosted by the Arts Council of Greater Kalamazoo and resulted in a half dozen brand new murals across downtown Kalamazoo with wonderful public engagement. KCPAC was involved throughout the duration of the planning and execution of Brush the Block, with Arts Council of Greater Kalamazoo Program Director Kim Shaw bringing news and developments and committee input each month to our meetings for consideration and feedback. Significantly, during that festival, KCPAC hosted a public art panel discussion featuring local artists Guillermo Sotelo, Corinne Paul Castanan, and Brent Harris. Panelists answered questions from members of the public concerning their experiences in creating public art, from sculptures to murals to graffiti, the trials and tribulations involved in organizing and marketing public art events and installations, and ways in which community members can involve themselves in the process. Since 2020, KCPAC has installed 20 Pixel Sticks plaques on works of public art, with plaques for another 12 pieces slated for installation in the spring of 26. Pixel Sticks plaques are attractive, durable, affordable, and connect visitors via web-based multimedia concerning the work of the artist in question. It's a little QR code plaque that hosts you to a whole little backstory of whatever the artist deems relevant for their piece of work. Pixel Sticks apps users are able to not only learn more about the work of art before them, but also view other locations of additional pieces nearby and throughout the country. I've got the app on my phone. I always look it up in all the cities I travel to. In 25, KCPAC leadership made a concerted effort to reach out to officials and leaders to discuss upcoming projects, developments, and partnership opportunities in several jurisdictions, including conversations with the Vicksburg Arts, the Portage City Manager, the Portage Parks and Rec, City Kalamazoo often. KCPAC remains ready and willing to meet with artists, community leaders, and officials from all corners and municipalities within the county. We recognize the difficulties posed by the process of commissioning meaningful works of public art on limited budgets, especially in smaller communities, and are proud to be here to help. Lastly, this year, KCPAC continued our partnership with Bike Friendly Kalamazoo this year through leadership of their Fall Bike Art Celebration Art Committee. To date, Bike Friendly Kalamazoo and KCPAC have collaborated to commission 3 murals created by Kalamazoo-based artists located in the city of Kalamazoo, city of Portage, and city of Galesburg, dedicated to celebrating the joys of cycling. Bike Friendly Kalamazoo is actually working on the 2026 location, was just identified, going through the process, but it's expected to be in city of Kalamazoo also. Looking ahead, as KCPAC makes plans for the coming year, we will continue to hold our regular meetings in the Epic Center from 5:30 to 6:30 on the 4th Wednesday of each month. These meetings conform to the Open Meetings Act, and all interested members of the public are welcome to join us. Artists, building owners, project managers, and anyone planning or interested in planning public projects, art projects through Kalamazoo, and wishing to be included in our agenda are encouraged to contact us at the address provided. KCPAC recently filled a pair of membership vacancies for the calendar year of 26. Terms for KCPAC members are 1 year in duration, and matters of membership are considered in January of each year. On a personal note, I've found membership in KCPAC to be valuable and unique. As an architect, I get to interact with a whole lot of different artists, graffiti artists, muralists, sculpturists, people I don't interact with on a daily basis, and their points of view are always enriching to my conversations. Membership in KCPAC is a fantastic way to get involved in making the municipalities we represent brighter places to live and work, and meet fantastic individuals to accomplish shared goals. Interested parties are encouraged to contact us. In closing, I'd like to offer my earnest thanks to the Kalamazoo County Commission, the staff of Kalamazoo County, and our Kalamazoo County representative, Commissioner Wheeler. Thank you for your continued support of Kalamazoo County Public Art Commission and our amazing arts community at large. As always, KCPAC stands ready to assist with any and all public art projects in all stages, from planning to review. Thank you.
So much. And, you know, we look forward, part of our work on the upcoming parking ramp and administration building, the north face of that will include a large public art installation. So the Arts Council is engaging collaboration with the Public Arts Commission, helping to make the call to artists who have the skill set for both graphic and painted mural design. And so we're just about to, I believe, launch that formal request. Will open live to invited artists this week.
Very exciting.
And then we'll convene an ad hoc committee of members from the board and community who will help sort of review the final designs that come forth. So we're really excited. I'm very excited about it. And we appreciate the collaboration of the Arts Council and the interested board members in the community. Public art, I think, is a great value to the community and sort of inspires the space to be all it can be for all of us. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity on that north side of that parking garage. That's going to be probably the largest public art mural I can think of in Kalamazoo.
I think it will. I think it will be the largest public art installation in our community. Are there questions to Commissioner Gisler and Vice Chair? Commissioner Gisler.
Thank you, Chair. Excuse me. As I represent a ton of the remote townships, can you tell me, are there any of the representatives on your board in the townships that surround the two major cities?
That's a good comment. I'm not aware of the personal addresses for some of the representatives on our board. I know that City of Vicksburg is very active, coming to us, collaborating with us in public art. Specifically, the Bike Friendly Kalamazoo initiative did a one in Galesburg, I think this last year or 2 years ago. They did a wonderful mural there. So those are kind of two that have reached out and engaged with us specifically.
But they don't necessarily sit on your board.
No, the governments do not. They do not have a representative on the board. Just the City of Portage, City of Kalamazoo, and the county.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just want to thank you for getting this more active, and I've it's gone through ebbs and flows, and it's exciting to see the activeness of your organization. I really appreciate your partnership with Bike Friendly Kalamazoo. As I'm traveling down Lovers Lane, I see that mural there, and it's really, really cool as you're driving into Kalamazoo from Portage. So thank you very much for all your work, and thank your board as well.
Oh, thank you.
Right, I'm seeing nothing further. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay. Right, item 5. We go to other items. We have discussion and potential direction regarding requested funding support for a Blueprint for Peace, Peace Gun Violence Prevention and Intervention Initiative. We'll hear from Dr. Catlin, and then Ellen Bergstrom, Community Planner, and NFP Board Liaison from the City of Kalamazoo. Administrator.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So this evening I wanted to present a request that has come to us from the Blueprint for Peace Collaborative. And so they've approached the county seeking support for a gun violence prevention and intervention initiative intended to advance community safety, economic stability, and equitable outcomes. The initiative aligns with the county's adopted Blueprint for Peace framework and broader strategic goals related to violence prevention, stability, and cross-sector collaboration. So as part of the effort, staff have identified an external opportunity administered by CDEM, which is the Community Economic Development Association of Michigan, that could provide capacity support through a fellowship-based model. The program would place a full-time fellow to support high-impact, community-focused initiatives, with the majority of costs covered externally and a modest host site financial commitment required. The attached memorandum outlines the structure of the program, anticipated costs, and potential cost-sharing conversations with community partners like the United Way. While the opportunity presents a potential mechanism to advance Blueprint for Peace priorities, staff are seeking policy direction from the Board of Commissioners before pursuing funding commitments, submitting applications, or identifying county resources to support this or similar initiatives. So this evening, we can provide more details on the approach and on the program, and I would certainly utilize my partner here, Nolan Bergstrom with the city, to provide those details, and we will stand by for further questions.
Good, welcome, Nolan. Yeah, there you got it. You got it.
First time in here, so
yes, welcome to you.
Thank you, commissioners, for having me. I'll try to stay brief. This was an opportunity that came to me from a coworker of mine at the City of Kalamazoo, our sustainability planner, Justin Gish. He, in the past 2 years, has applied for and received funding from the state of Michigan through their climate fellowship program. This Michigan Mobility Fellowship program is similar. This is going to be, I think, cohort 2 is what's coming up this year. So they just wrapped up their first cohort this past year. And I was asked by my deputy director in our planning department to start sitting in more on the economic and transportation related working group through the Blueprint for Peace. Start talking with the group at one of the recent meetings, and Andrea Macklin through the United Way, and kind of start to understand there might be an opportunity for collaboration, and that there might be some funding assistance through the county to help support a Michigan Mobility Fellow. And I think it was already described, but the United Way was looking at potentially supporting with $2,500 towards this program, and then The city of Kalamazoo, I still have to confirm with either my deputy director or our public services division manager, could maybe support up to 5,000 of the remaining 10. But the point of the fellowship is to bring in someone who can be kind of that full-time working on a project with the Blueprint for Peace for the next 15 months. The interesting part about this, though, is that it's a little unique in the fact that we'd be collaborating as partners. So figuring out and determining how we split maybe where this person would be in terms of a host site. So do they slot in with the county for a day during the week, with the city for a day during the week, and then how to make sure we slot them in with the Blueprint for Peace work. And from my own research, the first cohort of fellows really focused on capstone projects, and those can kind of range between, maybe like a technical tool that somebody can use in their community over and over again, or another project focused on mobility initiatives. Full disclosure, I'm not the rep for CEDM, so I'm kind of, working from the background I have. But I just wanted to, bring it forward to Dr. Catlin after talking with Andrea, and it seemed like folks in the working group were also really interested at adding capacity wherever we can. And it seemed like the ask from CEDM in terms of the funding amount seemed reasonable for what we might receive. So, yeah.
Thank you for that overview. Do we have questions from commissioners? Vice Chair.
So you answered part of my question. You're still trying to figure out where this person is going to be housed. I'm looking at this description. At the end of the year, what do we hope to have accomplished with this position?
Yeah, I think the previous meeting I sat in on for the Blueprint for Peace, at least that economic work group that's kind of also focusing on transportation initiatives, was really trying to focus on better engaging the community. We have a lot of opportunities right now, at least within the city limits, because the city is undergoing our master plan update. So we're out in the community a lot. So there'd be lots of opportunities to get someone out into the community with residents. And then we would lean on other external partners to look at, the communities countywide. But I think at the end of this, we'd want, a project or capstone project that maybe looks at regional transportation connections, things like mobility hubs, or working with our regional transit agencies and understanding, where we have gaps. I think that's somewhat where we need assistance. I think, at least I know in my world, I need more assistance or capacity to continuously engage with residents or groups that we have a hard time engaging with, because we either don't have time, during our day to day, but this person could solely focus on one specific area, and we could work within the working group.
Okay.
To identify that. Yeah.
I certainly, I love the cost sharing method of this. We put in 12.5 initially. We'll more than likely get paid 7,500 back. So we're putting in 5. The city potentially is putting in 5, and United Way is putting in 2,500 for a full-time person. As far as housing it in the county, I mean, I'd rather give Metro Transit the $5,000 and house them over in Metro, because they do more with or mobility stuff than we do necessarily. I mean, maybe in our planning department, perhaps, but it seems like it would be more of a natural fit into our Metro Transit than necessarily in the county.
And classically, when we've had like our climate fellowships come into the city of Kalamazoo, they're housed in our planning and economic development department, but they are also, they've worked with external partners like the Nature Center, like Kalamazoo and Bloom, or the Wild Ones, or for various programs or initiatives. So basically, the host site is kind of there to provide the mentorship and to provide guidance on how to be the connecting piece to these partners that to kind of get the work done. So I think, yeah, it's a little different because it's a collaborative model. So understanding is it partially they're at the city for a little, for a while? Do they also get some mentorship from the county? And then we can also make sure they get to folks like Metro and people that we meet with fairly often.
Yeah, my biggest fear is we create a position, and it's only $5,000 for the county, so it's not a huge thing. It's probably worth the risk, but that has so many bosses in so many different areas that they're working in that they actually don't do anything, and that's kind of my my as I've seen government before where you have an agency with like maybe 12 different people to report to. You kind of get lost in what the effectiveness of that actual person is doing. That being said, the cost sharing model of this makes a lot of sense to take the gamble because it's $5,000 roughly for the county to get a full-time position be shared with different agencies. So I'm good with the risk, but that is my concern.
And it is, I'll say it is competitive somewhat. So there's no guarantee that we would be selected as a host site. There never is. We just would apply and kind of cross our fingers and hope that we have, a solid enough application. I think in terms of the host site too, the city of Kalamazoo planning and economic development staff and our public services staff, we go to the Kalamazoo Area Transportation Study Technical Committee meetings. We stay connected with Metro as we are right now with our master plan work. And we're also heavily engaged with Blueprint for Peace, multiple staff and multiple working groups. So yeah, no matter where I think they get placed, we'll really make sure they have a solid, hierarchy of who they're working with, what the structure of that would be, and how that relates to any project they want to pursue.
So, Nolan, you would not be in the fellowship. You'd be seeking a candidate to come forward to be the fellow.
Yeah. So, say if we went for it and the host site was the City of Kalamazoo Economic Development Planning Department, I would probably work as like a staff person that is either working that mentorship role or not a supervisory role, because I don't like that term, but basically being the one to help guide them through, what their project would be, how they interact and work with the Blueprint for Peace. I know Andrea and Ezekiel, we've had conversations now about how would we slot them in, make sure, but a key component of it is the regional work and grounding it in the Blueprint for Peace. So, and I think that working group in economic development / transportation wants to, like, they're doers. They want to start branching out. And I think a person like this could help that group branch out. Yeah.
Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused exactly what you're trying to do. It looks like there's an ask for 12,500. I assume that's from us. And then there's a indication that it's allocation is 90,000 total, and I assume that's to hire this person to do this work, correct?
And I will say that that's the total that would be covered by CEDM. So there's basically, we as partners would put in the 12,500, and essentially the value you get back is the 80 to 90,000. So there's benefits and things that CEDM would manage or handle through their program.
Okay, so CEDM would, you say we get this kind of back, and you're basically looking at funding transportation or helping folks with transportation. Is that what the idea is here?
Yeah, you can think of this as kind of a way to build capacity. And I think it was in the memo as well, but a way to kind of build capacity without temporarily, and it functions by being interconnected with the Blueprint for Peace work, but without having to bring in, a full-time hired person. These are recent graduates who are looking for experience, and CEDM classically has these fellowship programs to help place these candidates in different communities. Oftentimes it's been economic development in the past, or the climate fellow. This is going to be that second year of the mobility fellow, so highly focused on transportation, but so it's the same model.
Now, would we get a report back as to maybe, I guess I'd like to see more of how this is going to benefit and stop gun violence, I guess is what I'm concerned with, and how we're going to move ahead. And all about stopping gun violence. That's a great thing, but I guess I'm just a little confused. I've been reading through this and trying to get it in my head what you're attempting to do and how we can help make it happen. So thank you for your report.
Thank you. And, you know, to the broader community, you know, the Blueprint for Peace is a public population health focused blueprint. So it really helps us think about what are the root causes and, you know, those social determinants of health that drive the escalation of gun violence. And so that intersection with things like poverty, for example, and its intersection with types of community-based violence. And so when we try to address the underlying instability in people's wealth and well-being, then we reduce the likelihood that their lives intersect with violence and with gun violence in particular. So that's what this is working to address, thinking about, well, how do we get people to jobs and how do we make sure that they're getting to health care so that they can stay in their job, and that way they're not then under stress or having to seek out other methods to meet basic needs, getting connected with gang violence, for example, as a young person because they can't get to employment would be, you know, a broad example. I know, you know, you may or may not, if we win this award, be in a mentorship role, and I am a liaison with Metro, but I'll just lift up just a couple of transportation concerns, so they're just in the back of your mind if you go forth and have discussions. I know the city of Kalamazoo is doing some work on the covered metro stop that's near Fox Ridge Apartments, but that intersection there, I live nearby that complex, is very congested, very dangerous. There is a lack of pedestrian walkway down that hill on one side that's closest to all of that multi-unit housing. And so you have residents and children that walk out in the street in the middle of the snow. It's just not safe. And continues to be a real struggle. I know we're also seeing community conversation re-emerge, and this is how transportation intersects with education as well. But the interfaith homes also lacks school busing for the children that go to Hillside Middle School. So again, they're walking up the street, up that very steep hill in an unsafe condition, up Alamo as well. And, you know, thinking through how you engage with these multi-housing tenants. So in particularly these large scale developments of the two I just mentioned, you know, if you endeavor in helping to select what candidate comes forward to assist with this, someone with lived experience that can connect closely and build trust with the community will be really important to actually get the feedback that you need. So those are just considerations I would float into the ether should this move forward. I'm in support of the concept as well. Do we have any other questions or comments from commission? All right. Thank you very much. All right, so Administrator Catlin, do you need anything further? It sounds like we have support to move forward.
That's all I needed, Chair, is this just some support. We have this budget, or we have gun violence funding budgeted in the 2026 budget, so we have $90,000. This would take a little chunk of that. So we'll report back if that application is successful, and then we can talk about the contract and all that, the terms and conditions. So.
Excellent. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's go to item 6, our closed session items. We have 2. Commissioner Wheeler has our motions.
Thank you, Chair. I motion to enter into closed session pursuant to MCL 15.2681C for purposes of negotiations of a collective bargaining agreement with AFSCME.
Motion is made by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Epler. Any further discussion? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Geisler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Epler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales,
Yes.
Commissioner Ray,
Yes.
Chair Strips,
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLue.
Yes.
9 yes.
That motion carries. Commissioner Wheeler.
I motion to enter closed session for an update and discussion related to the lease of the site of the Asylum Lake Preserve pursuant to MCL 15.268D.
Motion is made by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. Any further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales,
Yes.
Commissioner Ray,
Yes.
Chair Strips,
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLu, Commissioner Gisler.
Yes.
9 yes.
And that motion carries. At this time, we'll adjourn to closed session.
Chair, I make a motion to come out of the first closed session.
Motion to come out of the first closed session made by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Taylor. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. That motion carries. Commissioner Wheeler.
I make a motion to approve the first closed session minutes.
Support.
Motion made to approve the first closed session minutes by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Taylor. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Commissioner Wheeler.
I make a motion to come out of the second closed session.
Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, to come out of the second closed session. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries.
I make a motion to approve the second closed session minutes.
Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Commissioner Ray, to approve the minutes of the second closed session. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. With that, we've exhausted the agenda and we are adjourned. 6:30. Good evening. I'm going to call to order the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners, February 3rd, 2026 regular business meeting. Our first item is our invocation or reflection. It's for Vice Chair Pro Tem. Would you do that this evening? Is that all right? All right.
Thank you, Chair. Please join with me. Heavenly Father, please accept our apologies for our failures and our inability to sometimes get the job done. But please, we want to thank you for the many blessings that you have bestowed upon us and give us the guidance to move forward and to try to do your work and protect our community and make us stronger and better and a great place to live, work, and play. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Vice Chair Pro Tem. Let's go to item 3, which is our roll call. Clerk.
Commissioner DeLupe,
Here.
Commissioner Gisler,
Here.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Here.
Commissioner Mazer,
Here.
Commissioner Morales, Commissioner Ray, Chair Stribbs,
Here.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Here.
Commissioner Wheeler.
Here.
9 present.
All right, thank you. Let's go to item 4, proclamations. We have a request for approval of the Wear Red Day proclamation for 2026.
So moved.
Motion is made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Commissioner Wheeler. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, brings us to item 5, communications. We're in receipt of a number of items. Item 2026-220, we have an Iron County resolution in support of repealing MCL 46.4152. We received item 2026-228, which was an Asylum Lake email correspondence from Zachary Lassiter. We received correspondence from the Village of Climax Planning Commission, formally requesting comments on their master plan process. Item 2026-238, resolution from Washtenaw County supporting HB 5152 and HB 5153. Item 2026-239, resolution from Washtenaw County opposing any ballot proposal or legislative effort that oppose documentary proof of citizenship requirements or otherwise create unnecessary barriers to voter registration and participation for eligible Michigan voters. Item 2026-257, communication for the Michigan Transformation Collective that was related to the child care millage. Item 2026-260, Kalamazoo Community Foundation, the Kalamazoo RX Kids Annual Report, and 2026-245, packet from Consumers Energy addressing proposed data center projects. It's just an informational packet, not related to any proposed developments within the community, but just information sharing from them. Are there any other communications from the board? Right, I'm seeing none. Go to item 6, approval of our minutes. Right, there is a motion by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, goodness, for the approval of the January 20th, 2026 Committee of the Whole and regular meeting minutes. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Item 7 is for approval of the agenda.
agenda as presented. Support.
Motion made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler for the approval of the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Item 8 is for presentations. We have none. Item 9 for public hearings. We also have none. Item 10 is our first opportunity for public comment. This evening, public comment can be made in person. Our virtual option is not functioning this evening. If you wish to speak you may speak during either of the public comment periods. Present yourself to the podium. You have up to 3 minutes to speak to the board on any topic. Please share your name and where you're from once you are recognized. Is there anyone wishing to make public comment? Seeing none. All right, we will close public comment. We'll go now to item 11, which is our consent agenda.
I move that the consent agenda be voted on at one time by a roll call vote and be considered as a consent agenda by the board.
Support. Motion is made by Vice Chair Taylor and supported by Commissioner Wheeler for the approval of the consent agenda as one motion. Is there any further discussion? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Gisler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales,
Yes.
Commissioner Ray,
Yes.
Chair Strips,
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLuke.
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. All right, that now brings us to our unfinished business and general orders. We have none. Item 13 is for new business, non-consent items. We have none. And Vice Chair?
I'm sorry, I thought we were going to approve an MOU on the 17th. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for clarifying, Vice Chair. All right, takes us to item 13, new business, non-consent. We have none. Item 14, this is our second opportunity for public comment. If you wish to interact with us, please come to the podium, share your name, where you're from. Anyone wishing to make public comment? Seeing none, we'll end public comment. Let's move to item 15, reports of the officers, bodies, administrator, and controller. We're in 8 minutes in so far, so I'm just going to see if we can keep that going. I have no further comments this evening. There's a community meeting happening, so let me hear from Vice Chair.
I will be really quick. We just passed a bunch of stuff. We got a report from RX Kids, which I am really excited about. I was kind of a little bit nervous about that program at first, but it's turning out to actually have a really good impact. And so I love it when I'm kind of proven wrong. So I'm happy that they're doing great work. I wish it was countywide, but we start small and we build out. Ashtimo Township sewer is finally there. We got police protection agreement with Ashtimo and Comstock Townships. And lastly, this is important that we need to talk about. At our employee benefits meeting, we looked at some of the structural costs associated with our employee benefits fund. And we're not in, I guess, red alert now, but there is a structural deficit looming in that fund. And we're going to have to probably spend some time in taking care of that. And one of those things is looking at what we offer that other people don't offer, that we're the only ones that offer that particular benefit. And one of those, I think, costs us $1.5 million a year. And that's one that I will be strongly proposing that we look at our benefits fund so that we can do things like childcare and do things like tuition reimbursement, do things like sick payout, unused vacation time payout. If we're going to continue to do that from the employee benefit fund, we need to go after the low-hanging fruit. So that will be coming at future board meetings. And I'm done.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. I always like to look for the successes. This board and their administration and our county has been pretty successful in a number of things. And I want to applaud all of you and thank you all for your hard work on things. We don't always agree on every issue, and that's a good thing. There should be a look at all sides to an issue, and it doesn't always have to be a unanimous vote to get something done or provide good services to our citizens and our businesses here in the county. So I want to look forward to doing the good things that we should be doing. We need to make sure that we're incorporating that we work for the whole county of Kalamazoo, not just for one specific entity or another, and reaching out and making sure that all the voices are heard the best we can and make the best decisions we can. Again, please reach out to those folks out there that have been working through all of these storms that we've had, about 60 some, I think Channel 3 said somewhere around 64 or 68 inches of snow so far this winter. We're halfway through it. So we're finally getting winters like we used to have back when I was a youngster and we had to walk uphill both ways 2 miles. There's the guys are out working, trying to get the streets cleared for safety. Please slow down a little bit. Try to get there safe. We've had a number of accidents. Some have not been good. None of them are good because you're either damaging property or you get somebody hurt, or even worse, they die. We don't like having that. We want people to be safe. So please slow down a little bit, drive carefully, get where you're going safely, and thank those folks that are out there doing that, the people that are trying to plow the streets, and give them a little room. Also thank the men and women that are out there, police, fire, ambulance folks, helping those in need all this time of year, and our men and women that protect us here and abroad, and our other county employees and city employees and village employees and township employees that work diligently to make Kalamazoo a great place to live, work, and play. Thought I wasn't gonna get it.
Oh, you got it in 2 times. We'll go to Administrator Dr. Kemp.
All right, thank you, Chair, Vice Chair Pro Tem, Commissioners, audience. Just 3 updates tonight. 1, I sent an email on the Shoe Pans and Sons sustainability recognition and facility tour. So they were recently featured in the CNBC news brief, highlighting the company's innovative sustainability practices occurring right here in Southwest Michigan. The coverage underscores the region's growing role in advanced recycling and circular economy infrastructure. So the Kalamazoo County Brownfield Redevelopment Authority is also supporting Shoe Pan through a TIF increment financing, or through a tax increment financing, rather, a TIF associated with the company's new aluminum recycling facility at the Midlink site. They also have members of the Materials Management Planning Committee recently toured the new aluminum recycling facility and Shoe Pan's electronics recycling operation, rather. And so they were particularly impressed with the company's transparency and data driven approach, and including their ability to clearly demonstrate where materials originate and how they're processed, and then ultimately how they're reused. An exciting thing, if you watch the video, and this is it's noteworthy that Director Grover pointed out that as you kind of look at the recycling timeline, an unused soda can can be returned to store shelves in as little as 68 days from the time that they're brought to like a Meijer and then returned back to the shelf. So that's it's really interesting, and it illustrates the efficiency and environmental benefits of domestic recycling infrastructure. Next, I wanted to highlight the architect and engineering RFP for the new administration building. So we've assembled a cross-functional team of county managers and supervisors, and we completed an initial review of of the 10 proposals received in response to the county's architect and engineering RFP for the administration building. The evaluation process include a very rigorous 2-day review and scoring exercise to ensure proposals were assessed consistently, objectively, and in alignment with the county's priorities and project requirements. So based on those results, the purchasing manager is now coordinating interviews with the top 4 firms through through that rescoring process. So these interviews are anticipated to occur later this month, and staff anticipates bringing a recommendation forward tentatively sometime in March, likely the second meeting in March, following a completion of those interviews and final due diligence. And then lastly, I wanted to highlight, so board leadership attended Lansing last week to meet with, for a full day of meetings with our legislators, and that included representatives of our delegation here in Kalamazoo, including Speaker Hall. But we also met with the chair of the House Appropriations Committee and the chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee. And so I believe that those meetings proved to be a valuable opportunity to continue building those relationships, discuss the county's priorities, and gain a clearer understanding of the legislative directed spending process they've set up now recently, now that there's new leadership in the House. So the county's top priority emphasized during these discussions was the construction of a new household hazardous waste facility, which remains critical to public health, environmental protection, and regulatory compliance. And so legislators also noted that in this upcoming state budget fiscal year, it will be a little bit tighter. And they really encourage the county to continue building on a strong case support from our partners in the region, but then also demonstrating that regional impact of what that facility can do for our area. So we're taking that back and we're writing up the proposal to submit through Senator McCann's office, and then also working with Rep. Rogers and Rep. Long John. So that's all I have for this evening, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Administrator. All right, well, move to member time. Commissioner Ray.
Thank you, Chair. I will take Jen's 30 minutes. I'm just joking. I do want to comment on the ARCS Kids annual report. I appreciate reading it. Happy that we are able to contribute to so many new moms in Kalamazoo. And to John's comments about it being open to Kalamazoo County, I think they're on their way to ask us for some funding for that. So I'll be on the lookout for that asking. That's all I have. Thanks.
Commissioner Wheeler.
Thanks, Chair. I recently got to spend some time with our lovely administration team on my beginnings of my tour of the county. So I just want to show my gratitude to the admin team for letting me come and disrupt their day a little bit. I learned a lot about even just what the different folks in our admin team do, the different functions, and kind of how to better support them. So highly encourage anybody else who's interested. They were great. They were very welcoming. And I'm looking forward to doing that with the various departments throughout the county. So yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Morel.
Thank you, Chair. Happy Blackity Black History Month, everybody. I am excited about the programming that's going on Friday. Western Michigan University has a men's conference. Ben Harbor is also hosting a Michigan Black Summit, which myself and Commissioner Ray will be attending. Dr. Rima Vassar, I don't know if you all remember her. She came and trained us for DEI. She has wrote a phenomenal op-ed about MSU returning funds that they took because the Trump administration dropped its legal appeal of federal court rulings that found its anti-DEI guidance unconstitutional. So I'm excited to learn more and see how our community acts towards this, because a lot of folks who were getting federal funding were a little nervous about getting that funding stripped as they supported DEI efforts. So as we talk about ICE conversations and what can and cannot be done, being that that is lifted, I can't wait to see how we jump into action on that. Other than that, my birthday is Valentine's Day. Y'all know I'm your favorite sweetheart. I am taking all good texts with hearts on it. Other than that, make sure you get some programming in this month. And I'm going to get off of here because I want to go to this community meeting that you all had on a scheduled county meeting time. We have to do better, people.
Thank you, Commissioner Morales. Commissioner Mazer. Commissioner Gissler.
Thank you, Chair. I'll be brief. I want to remind everybody that my small group that meets on second Mondays, next Monday, will have Brian Long speak. He's an economist from Grand Valley State. He'll be giving us a retrospective of 2025 and a forecast of what 2026 is going to look like as the national and the local economy. Many people have already seen this in the newspaper and on radio, but I want to emphasize it because I do sit on the airport authority, and United is now adding 4 additional flights to our Chicago-bound traffic. American has had 4 for some time each day to Chicago, and Delta still has their 6 going to Detroit. It's just a good sign that at least somebody with money in the game thinks there's good reason to bolster Kalamazoo's ability to keep people from having to drive to South Bend or Grand Rapids or wherever to get to the West Coast, to get to Washington, D.C., wherever they're headed. And I hope this works out. It's going to start on April 30th. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner DeLue.
Just think if we would have started at 6. Just throwing that out there. Also, the community event tonight is over capacity and you won't be able to get in. Also, I know it's unusual, but I want to thank Consumers Energy. That information packet they gave us, it was, although they are an energy company, at least they're getting some nice questions answered. And although we can't talk about closed session, I just want to thank this board. I think it was a very, the community can't see it, but a lot of work done behind closed doors. And I think tonight's closed session was a good example of working together. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner DeLue. All right, well, hopefully I don't hear cheering when I don't have any comments. Again, appreciate my colleagues. With that, we are adjourned.